What's up, cyberspace cadets? That's right, it's IRATE Prostate. It's Sunday. You know that means it's time for some ice cream. Now I know there's some problems with YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube, it's probably as a rerun and as a playback. There's some issues going on. Obviously, the restream. We're also on Twitch and D Live, so you've hopefully you've joined us there. And if not, just check Twitter. But we're still doing it. So. And this is usually the spot where I explain what the idea behind the ice cream interviews is. The ice cream interview started as as kind of like it was like this branding thing I had with with the cream stream and the whipped cream and sour cream things that I do. So I figured, ice cream, what is ice cream is a treat. And to me, a treat is when I find a really interesting person and I have a really good and deep conversation with them. And that's the whole idea behind this is that, I want to meet somebody new and learn some more about them, and today's guest, I stumbled across a couple of interviews, or I guess some streams with had done with Scribe Light, and then some of the Lords of the Night, and then I said, well, this is an interesting person. So then I got on our YouTube channel, and I watched hours and hours of just. What I really like about your channel is that you're kind of like me. You don't want to be just stuck in one box. It's just like there's different facets of yourself that you like to explore on your channel, and I think that's a good thing. And everybody, I want to introduce to you Chat-Mort, also known as
Hi.
Michelle. So you want to call you Michelle or Chef?
Yeah, whatever you want to call me is fine.
Yeah, I noticed every time you say Chat-Mort on, which means dead cat in French, y'all. If you didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's right. You got to stay tight and right with the fam. Yeah, so I've noticed that when you would say it, you kind of sound like Glinda from The Wizard of Oz.
You think so?
Yeah, you have a little lilt when you say it. He's Chat-Mort. And it was like, oh, yes, I like that. It's very, very endearing. So, so how are you today? It's Sunday and YouTube's fucking up.
Yeah. Yeah, what else is new, man? I'm pretty good.
Yeah, so, and so the deal is that, I start out with a couple of kind of icebreaker-ish kind of questions, and then we kind of, explore just who you are, and how deep and how real that goes. It's completely up to you. And,
all right.
And that's the way I do things, like we were saying earlier. So, all right. So how long have you been hanging around this YouTube scene, and when did you decide to get on the other side of the screen, as it were?
I think it's probably been about 3 years since I started making videos. I always wanted to. It was just kind of that sort of egotistical yet insecure thing that teenagers do, where you think, if I made one video, man, people would adore me and I would be famous and my life would be, I'd be set. Like, I always kind of wanted to, but I just kind of decided, because I have so many opinions about politics that people in my real life get really tired of hearing, I would kind of use that as my soapbox and start making sort of political commentary, cultural commentary videos.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think if you deeply care about, your country and the people in it, certain things, are going to disturb you, especially in this current political climate. It's very hostile.
Absolutely.
And polarized. So, all right, I kind of get kind of a vloggy kind of a feel at times to your stuff. Mm-hmm. Are you pretty open? Pretty comfortable with kind of I don't know. It seems like to me you're more open about who you really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that. I think honesty. I think people are attracted more to honesty than they are fake shit.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I just kind of have no shame, which is probably not a good thing to say, but I don't know. I don't see the point in being super private about things, and I understand that can come back to bite you, mm-hmm. when you talk about especially stuff that's so sort of polarizing like politics online, but I don't know, I want to be myself. And I guess my motivation for being so completely honest to a point where some people would probably see it as sort of weird or inappropriate is that I just want to help other people. You know, if being real and talking about some of my hardships and experiences helps other people, it's totally worth it to me. So that's kind of my philosophy.
Cool. So tell me, all right, so why Chat-Mort? What dead cat?
So that started like, I don't know, probably like 10 years ago. That was like my DeviantArt account name. I don't know if you...
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I just kind of stuck with it. I know it's kind of dumb and sort of angsty sounding, but I was like, you know what, for consistency's sake, I'll just stick with it. It's got a ring to it. People remember it at least, so.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's quite, mnemonically easy to definitely remember your name.
Yeah.
And so there's no like significance of dead feline critters in your in your path.
I mean,
or wake.
I love my cats. I'm very much a cat person. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of where it stemmed from to begin with. Like, I adore my cats. And I don't know, I had kind of the cliche teenager, like, preoccupation with death for a while. And when I was wee little, I had a phase where I drew, like, zombie cats. So it's kind of like, I don't know, an homage to that, too.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. It's kind of got its own kind of etymology to it. That's nifty.
Yeah.
So, all right, who would you say was the, before we get there, is there a food from your childhood that you could not stand, you just hated, and now in adulthood you're different about it and you like it?
I'd probably have to say scalloped potatoes.
Oh,
I hated them as a child. I was just really, really sensitive. Like, certain smells, I would just be like hysterical. I hated them so much, like garlic bread. I was a really weird kid. But there was this one time when my mom was dumb enough to be like, I'm gonna make tiny Michelle eat something and it's gonna go fine, right, outside of like chicken nuggets. And she told me, you're gonna eat some of these, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up if you make me eat that stuff. And sure enough, I did. And now I'm fine. I don't mind scalloped potatoes now.
Do you see that finickiness though manifesting in your adulthood?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm weird about certain things. Like, if on the rare occasions I go to like a really nice restaurant, like for a family dinner or something, mm-hmm. I don't like certain tastes, like anything too complex, like that mixes sweet and savory or like sweet and salty. I'm weird about stuff like that. And I actually have a ton of food allergies too, so that could partly be why I had an aversion to certain things when I was little. I don't know.
Let's see. Who would you say is the most influential person in your childhood?
Probably my mom. I was an only child, and so I was very isolated as a little kid, and just like the dynamic of the household I grew up in was one in which I relied on my mom for everything as far as emotional support, and for better or for worse, she kind of did the same for me. So like, she was my best friend and my protector, and so I would definitely say that my mom was the most influential person on me.
All right. Was there any dad in the picture?
Yes and no, kind of. He honestly wasn't there a lot. Like, he was working or he was just not there. And sometimes that entailed, like, we didn't know where the hell he was. So, like, he was there, the bare minimum.
So, but they remained married?
They did not. They divorced when I was around 10 or 11, which was really hard on me. But they're both much, much happier, more well-adjusted people now. So, it really sucked as a kid, but it worked out for the best in the long run.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of, I guess, experience to be able to gaze back in retrospect and see the positive out of it.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've detected in you too. That you've been through some kind of major self-analysis, and that's a good thing. So what kind of kid were you, besides being a finicky eater?
I was extremely, like, cripplingly shy. Super creative. I've been drawing since I could hold a crayon, just constantly. I don't know how to stop, whether it's drawing or writing. I'm always doing something like that, which kind of like expanded into my video making too. I consider that the editing and the filming and the scripting a creative outlet as well. And even when I was wee little, I was very opinionated, and may have gotten me in trouble a couple times, but I was extremely shy, super artistic, and I loved animals then too. So,
what kind of like what kind of like city or in religious community did you grow up in?
It was a very rural place. I wasn't really around many other kids at all, and I was raised Catholic, but it was one of those scenarios in which the way my parents like pushed it on me completely alienated me from it. Like I despised church, and I still consider myself to be spiritual or kind of religious, but I never got anything out of like going to a Catholic church,
I understand. Yeah, I mean, I call myself a recovering Catholic.
Yeah.
In a way. But everybody's spiritual journey is very interesting to me too. Let's see. All right. So, and this is a good question I always ask people: is there a Christmas special or a Christmas carol or song that holds special meaning for you?